understand that it's widely felt that they underperform. But the fact is that this is the board of directors for the largest economic entity in the world, unquote. And he's absolutely right. That's a very good analogy. The board of directors for the largest economic entity in the world. True. And I'll tell you something. In large corporations, when you're talking the board of directors, the movers and shakers that actually steer this corporation, if they performed as miserably as this Congress has, heads would roll. They're not gentle in the business world. They tend to be fairly ruthless. You stand between a businessman and his dollar.
Yeah.
You better look to your life. I'm telling you. So, yes, they are the equivalent of the board of directors for the largest economic entity in the world. That's why we expect results. We did not get to be the largest economic entity in the world by having the do-nothing lawmakers up in the the Capitol that we have now. Things got done. Issues were addressed. Things moved forward. We had a sense of progression instead of stagnation. No kidding. Now, he said that in Washington, D.C., where housing is expensive, and it is, some lawmakers live out of their offices to save money while maintaining homes in their legislative districts, which is a requirement. If you're a congressman or a senator, you've got to maintain a residence in the district that you were elected out of so that you can say you have constituents. Never mind that you're hardly ever there. You don't talk to them. You don't deal with them. Yeah. Looks good on paper, okay? It looks good on paper. Now, others live in tiny one-room apartments to save money. Moran intends to offer an amendment to the legislative branch appropriations bill that would provide a per diem allowance for lawmakers to help cover Washington housing costs. A Moran aide has said that this would not affect the congressman personally, given his plans to retire and because of the close proximity, I can't talk, of his suburban Virginia district means he does not need a second residence. So, even if he were running again, even if he weren't a lame duck, this is not something that would affect him personally. Mr. Moran wants to ensure the Americans aren't priced out of holding elected office in Congress by the cost of maintaining a separate household in one of the most expensive housing markets in the country. The job shouldn't be limited to those who can afford the cost of living in D.C. Right. Now, despite foregoing the scheduled $2,800 cost of living increase, that's the annual cost of living increase that the lawmakers generally get, $2,800 a year. Yeah. Lawmakers still earn more than 3 times U.S. median household income of $53,046 that was listed by the Census Bureau. Now, Moran, who represents the Washington suburbs of Alexandria and Arlington, Virginia, is among the less well-heeled in Congress, listing a net worth of between $1,001 and $15,000 on his 2012 federal financial disclosure statement, which excludes property values. That's excluding a lot. These boys own property, lots of it. In 2004, Moran described himself as one of the, quote, poorest members of Congress after racking up large losses in financial options trading. Okay. Poor little guy.
Yeah, he boo-booed so other people get to...
He lost his shirt.
Wow.
Trading, okay? He lost his shirt trading. Yes, it costs a phenomenal amount of money to live in the Washington, D.C. area. Now, I used to live right outside Washington. I lived in a little suburb, or exurb, as they call it, called Centerville. And I worked in D.C., so I commuted into D.C. every day to go to work. And you go through Alexandria and Virginia and all these little... the only way you go from, that you go from one town to another is just because there's a sign. It looks like some giant city.
Yep.
And you go right over into Maryland, cross over to Manassas or Manassas, Virginia, and then cross over into Maryland and never even know it, really.
Wow.
And it is exceedingly expensive to live there. However, I would like to point out the only elected office on the face of the planet that costs more to run for then the United States Congress is the United States President. There is no other Congress or country on the face of the planet that costs more to run for head office than Congress, and then followed by the President. We expect much of our elected officials. We also expect them to have deep pockets.
Right.
Anybody who's ever seen Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, you ever see that?
No.
Jimmy
Heard of
Stewart? That I own it. I should make you watch it. Fabulous movie. Talks a lot. Addresses, I guess you'd call it idealism
it. Okay.
involving our higher government. And that's not always a bad thing. Okay? It's not always. Idealism is not always a bad thing. But I got to tell you, those days of some, Joe Blow, who was a scoutmaster back home in Indiana with a bunch of Boy Scouts, deciding, I'm going to run for Congress and I'm going to make things right. Those days are gone.
Yeah, we had some presidential candidates try that.
Yeah.
Could we say Ross Perot?
I'm surprised he just didn't buy the country.
He could have. He was that close. He could have bought the election.
We can now. I mean, they've done away with contribution limits, campaign contribution limits. Yeah, more on that later. But yeah, Russ Perot should. I figure by 2016 at least he should own 3/4 of the country. Oh, that's right. He'd have to buy it from the Chinese.
That's right.
What am I thinking? Yes. I couldn't believe that, though. The guy actually comes out and says the Congress is underpaid.
We're
No,
underpaid for what we do.
you are not underpaid. You're underperforming. If you want to get paid more,
Do what you were elected to do.
What a thought!
Gee.
I'm stunned. I am absolutely stunned. How dare you?
Yeah.
You little heretic.
That's right.
You rebel, you.
That's me.
That's what I like about you. You stick your neck out. Get it chopped off.
That's right.
And they knock on your door in the middle of the night. This is your new home, the Gulag. Yes. What can I tell you? The food I hear is fabulous. You'll love it. Now, one of the reasons I'm thinking, I could be wrong. I rarely am. I always say I was wrong twice in my
such a
life.
woman.
I was wrong twice in my life. I divorced both of them. That makes me now officially perfect. Okay? Perfect. I make no mistakes.
I wasn't DJing at either of those parties, so I can't say anything.
This is true. This is the reason that I think congressmen should not get paid what they get paid as it is. San Francisco. A California state senator and more than 24 others has been formally indicted in a sweeping San Francisco political corruption case, according to officials announced Friday. Yeah. We need Elliot Ness. Oh, my. Are you kidding me?
I need that sound effect somewhere.
No. You do it so well, though. We're talking 2014. The year 2004. We're not talking 1936, when everyone had a Tommy gun under their car seat. No. 2014.
No, it's
Really?
rocket launchers.
Oh, well, AK-47s.
There you go.
A grand jury indictment released by the U.S. Attorney's Office replaces a criminal complaint filed last week. State Senator Leland Yee and 19 others were arrested on March 26th. Now, Yee is a San Francisco Democrat. He's accused of conspiring to connect an undercover FBI agent with a Philippines arm dealer in exchange for campaign contributions and of trading political influence for cash. Now, you need to understand that Senator Yee, in the public's eye, was a huge gun control advocate. He put forth legislation that would crack down on the flow of illegal guns into this country. Behind the scenes, don't look behind the curtain. Ignore the man behind the curtain. Yeah. He's on a direct line to the Philippines saying, send me more guns. Yeah. This is your tax dollars at work.
Hard at work.
This is your congressman. Thankfully, he's from California. We don't have to claim him. But he's just one of 100 or so up there, I'm telling you.
Yeah, but we have to support California.
Now, this indictment that they're talking about contains the same charges as a criminal complaint and adds 2 more defendants to what was discussed earlier. And if you remember last week, I touched on this. I was talking about him being arrested. Campaign donation records show that Yee made trips to the Philippines in 2008 and 12, according to Sacramento Bee. Now, his Senate campaign committee paid $894 for a flight to Manila, quote, to meet with Filipino officials, unquote. In September 2008, the records show another trip in July of 2012 included a $246 payment from Yee's office holder account for an Asiana Airlines flight to Manila for what was called a governmental fact-finding trip. You think we could fly to the Philippines, the Manila, for $246?
No.
Probably
I
not.
can't even fly to Idaho for $246.
What is it? The little hops you get on the plane, it goes up and comes right back down. You know, they're like $200. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, come on. The Bee also reported that Yee spent at least $62,000. Get this, $62,000 at the New Asia restaurant. Okay, a Chinatown eatery. The FBI investigators allege hosted many events in the Chi Kung Tong, the organization at the heart of this case. Cockfighting. I'm telling you, they're dropping the dime on cockfighting in there. The senator's new lawyer. I quit. I don't want to cover this guy. I quit. Yeah.
I need a new attorney.
Yeah, I think the attorney wanted out of this one, I'm telling you. He's former federal prosecutor Jim Lassard. He didn't immediately return phone calls Friday. I bet he didn't. Yee is free on a $500,000 bond. You and I would not be free on any amount of bond pending trial, and has not yet entered a plea. He and most of the other defendants, including Raymond Shrimp Boy Chow. There's an alias for you. I want to go through life on all of my police records. I wanted to say, AKA Shrimp Boy.
Yeah.
I think of a better one. They're scheduled to be arraigned Tuesday. Chow remains in jail after a magistrate judge declared the Hong Kong native and convicted felon was a flight risk and a danger to the community. You go. I love that. Chow is a leader of a community group that the FBI says is a front for a notorious Asian gang. His charges include money laundering and trafficking in stolen goods and illegal cigarettes. They get into everything. I'm telling you. They've got their fingers in every pie.
Just a little bit.
The 2 new people charged in the case are Zhanghao Wu and Tong Zhao Zhang. They are charged with buying contraband cigarettes from an undercover FBI agent in New York. The Marlboro cigarettes are missing stamps that show New York state taxes had been paid. Horrors. Now, I will grant you, illegal cigarette trading, while illegal and should be stopped and whatnot, isn't, the top echelon of criminal syndicates here. But it's
some cigarette people.
People aren't paying attention. People are not paying attention. This is a corruption case.
Yes.
This is somebody that this country sat and listened to all those political ads, listened to the political promises, saw all the little signs that they put up, heard why, if you vote for my opponent, he's the son of Satan, and this is why.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's all political ads are anymore. It's all smear, hate, and mud.
So
the people that went through all this and voted this man into office in in California, this is what they got for their money. Really? And I'm telling you, I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not making figures, digits, my digits. But I'm telling you, if you think this is the only guy in Congress or the Senate who is involved in, shall we say, shady dealings, we'll leave it at that, you are sadly out of the loop.
Just a little.
Marty McFly needs to open the doors and kick you out because you've gone way too far back. Yeah. It's actually kind of frightening.
What's wrong with Marty McFly?
There's nothing wrong with Marty McFly, but he's obviously kidnapped you and taking you back to a simpler time. Yeah. That ain't today. Tell you what, we're going to take a quick break. I can't talk today. This is The Raw Nerve. I'm Susan C. Dennis B. D and I will be back right after this.
In fact, it was a little bit frightening, but they fought with expert timing. There were funky Chinamen from funky Chinatown. They were chopping them up, they were chopping them down.
Kevin with the Outlaw Radio Network. When it came time for the guys with Outlaw Radio to get our tuxes for the Habitat for Humanity of Kitsap County's Raise the Roof event, we honestly had no idea where to get them. Then we found Judy at Judy's Sewing in East Bremerton. As evidenced by the name, Judy's Sewing does tailoring, alterations, and repair. She also does tuxedo rentals starting at $69, bridal party dresses for $69, and bride's dresses starting at only $189. Plus, we also learned that at Judy's Sewing, not only does she offer military members prices that are lower than they're going to find at the Navy Exchange, she also prioritizes their orders. That means if you're in the military, your needs move right to the front of the line. It's a special touch of service you can only get from a locally based business like Judy's Sewing. Judy's Sewing at the corner of Fairgrounds Road in Central Valley in East Bremerton, right near Handy Andy's. Or call Judy at 360-662-1212. 662-1212. Judy's Sewing, a local business that's proud to support her community.
Hey, sports fans, have you ever wished there was a live and local all-sports broadcasting network, but wish no more? It's ISPNsports.com, Kitsap's only live and local all-sports 24-hour broadcasting network, featuring the Kitsap Blue Jackets, the Olympic College Rangers, high school athletics, and the ISPN Sports Show every Saturday morning from 10 to noon with interviews from exclusive guests from around the Sound. So, you want sports? Go to ISPNsports.com.
The Loft at Latitude 47.7 in Paulsbo is an amazing way to enjoy a night out on the town. At The Loft, they feature a full menu including fresh seafood, amazing appetizers, and tempting desserts. Plus, with Happy Hour Daily, you can enjoy great discounts on draft beer, house wines, and selected menu items. The Loft at Latitude 47.7, open 7 days a week at 18779 Front Street in Paulsbo, overlooking the beautiful Paulsbo waterfront. The Loft at Latitude 47.7, Paulsbo's only waterfront restaurant and bar.
I'm Elaine Terso with Elaine Terso Photography. Let me tell you why I say that I am not your average photographer. At Elaine Terso Photography, I can handle all of your photography needs, including weddings, families, and newborns. I have an in-home studio, or I am able to come to you to take photos wherever you want to be. Mention Guardian Broadcasting when you book, and I will give you a 10% discount. For more information, visit me online at ElaineTersoPhotography.com or find me on Facebook.
As Kitsap County's largest maintenance provider, Team Innovative in Paulsbo provides commercial and residential maintenance to hundreds of millions of dollars of local real estate. With services including parking lot maintenance and street cleaning to landscape and design, Team Innovative is committed to using a green approach and following a strong environmental conscience. Team Innovative Services, 697-6858, or visit them online at getinnovative.net. Team Innovative Services, get serious, get innovative.
And welcome back to the Raw Nerve, heard only here on EdgeMediaSource.com. You can call into the show today at 253-617-1440. Now, ladies and gentlemen, back to your host. Here's Susan C.
Thank you, Dennis. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Hope you're having a great Sunday. Sunday. Yeah. That cracked me up, that going out at the end of the bottom of the hour there, and you went out with Kung Fu fighting.
Yes.
That cracked me up.
Yes. I'll be hearing about this for the rest of the evening.
You probably will, because I really enjoyed that. Well,
I did like the 80s, but you're loving some 70s.
The 70s still rocked. The 80s sucked. I'm sorry. 80s music was... No. I got to tell you. I know we'll have this argument later.
Yeah.
I am not a huge sports fan. Anybody who knows me will tell you I am not an enormous sports fan. Right?
Nope.
Right. I'm not.
Fairweather football fan.
I understand. I'm entitled. Shut up. I understand the need psychologically for a people, for a country, for an area to have an outlet for sports. You know, you root for your team. You feel like you're invested in them. It gives you something to do and take your mind off your everyday troubles. I understand the psychology of team sports. I really do. However,
Uh-oh, here it comes.
every once in a while, sports, the entity of sports, goes out of its way to show how incredibly stupid its individual members are. That's when I have heartburn. You ain't curing cancer. You're not inventing nothing. You're not exploring new vistas to improve mankind's knowledge. You are playing a sport. You are kicking a ball. You're hitting a baseball. You're playing a sport.
Entertainment.
It is entertainment. I tell you. You might have heard this story. It made a huge flap all over the place. For good reason. New York Mets second baseman Daniel Murphy missed the season's first 2 games to be with his wife during the birth of their first child earlier this week. Now, Murphy's wife went into labor on opening day Monday, which is the way it works. It'll be the worst possible time. That's the way it works. She went into labor on opening day Monday, so he went to Florida to be with her for the birth of their son, Noah. Then he decided to take the 3 full days paternity leave allowed by Major League Baseball. You see, Major League Baseball as an entity came together, discussed the issue, and said, we're going to give our players 3 days paternity leave
To
when they
go
have a baby born.
At that time with their family.
Right. Go be with your family, help your wife, blah, blah, blah. Nobody, however, read the small print in the MLB contract that says, yeah, we're going to let you have 3 days paternity, but by golly, you better not take it. Really? Okay.
Love our people.
Well, it seems reasonable. Sounds reasonable. But apparently not to some sports radio announcers, including former NFL quarterback Boomer Esiason.
Yeah, good old Boomer.
Yeah, well, as Dennis pointed out, there's a reason his name is Boomer instead of, say, William.
Yeah, he was around. He was around with another quarterback named Bubby.
Why does this not surprise me, given this attitude? He said, quite frankly, I would have said C-section before the season starts. I need to be at opening day. I'm sorry, this is what makes our money. This is how we're going to live our lives. This is going to give our child every opportunity to be a success in life. I'll be able to afford any college I want to send my kid to because I'm a baseball player. Unquote. That's what Esiason said Wednesday on his daily morning radio show, Boomer and Carton.
Yes.
Now, co-host Craig Carton weighed in on this whole issue as well. He said to me, and this is just my sensibility, assuming the birth went well, assuming your wife is fine, assuming the baby is fine, 24 hours, you stay there, baby's good, you have a good support system for the mom and the baby, you get your ass back to your team and you play baseball. Unquote. Now, Esiason did acknowledge it was Murphy's legal right to take his paternity leave afforded to him by the league and to meet his first son, Noah. Wow, that's big of him.
It is.
That is amazing. What a big-hearted man.
Boomer, I
Yeah.
am so unimpressed.
Boomer and Carton weren't the only New York radio hosts with the opinion of the Mets' decision. Radio host Mike Francesca, I guess, shared a similar sentiment on his show Wednesday. He said, I don't know why you need 3 days off. I'm going to be honest. You see the birth and you get back. What do you do in the first couple of days? Maybe you take care of the other kids? Well, you got to have someone to do that if you're a Major League Baseball player. I'm sorry, but you do. Your wife doesn't need your help the first couple of days. You know that. Unquote. Now, Murphy, 29 years old, missed just 1 game last season, fewer than any other player on the team. His team is supportive. They said he had our blessings to be with his wife, according to the Mets spokesman. And I got to tell you, MLB and Players Association began the paternity list in 2011 so that players could be with their families for an extraordinary time in their lives. Our clubs recognize it's entirely appropriate for players to receive that opportunity. MLB believes that the paternity list, which is an option that gives players flexibility based on their preferences, has facilitated our approach to these circumstances very effectively. Now, a bigger pile of steaming excrement, not to put too fine a point on it,
New Yorkers, man.
I have rarely seen, to suggest that it would have been more appropriate for his wife to have scheduled a C-section to get all this, icky family business of having babies and crap.
Yeah.
Get that out of the way. Get that done and out of the way.
And the last time I checked, isn't a C-section supposed to be just for,
Medical reasons?
emergency medical reasons because there's a difficulty with delivery
Yes.
the normal way, and
Yes.
it's not to be out
Trifled
of
with?
convenience for your job.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm pregnant, but I'm going to schedule a C-section so I can go back to work.
Right. Doesn't mean people don't do it, but that doesn't make it right either. Because I'm telling you, a C-section is an invasive procedure. I had a C-section with my youngest child. It hurts. You are laid up. The youngest child was 9 pounds, 15 ounces. Excuse me, 8 pounds, 15 ounces. Almost 9 pounds. She was a big girl. I was not supposed to pick up anything that weighed more than 6 pounds for a week and a half or 2 weeks after I had my C-section. Guess what? Baby weighed more than that.
Yeah.
I mean, I did, because you do. That's what mothers do. You got to live. But I'll tell you, it's nice to have your husband, who's invested in this as well, it's half his DNA as well,
Yeah.
to be there to help. And I'm telling you, anybody who would absolutely go out in front of the public, and say what these men did, you go watch the birth, you go home. You leave, you go back to work. Because that's what's making us money. If he tripped getting out of his car and bent his little finger,
Yeah.
he'd be on the player, what do they call that? The
Injured reserve.
injured reserve list. And nobody would bat an eye. They'd be like, well, you go soak that hand. Soak that hand. Yeah. Get the masseuse in there to rub it for you. Yeah.
Yeah, way to go.
Yeah. Nobody would bat an eye at 3 days if he were injured. But want to take 3 days to see the birth of his child, to be there, to bond with that child and the mother after going through
that's not important.
a situation like a C-section. I know.
Not important whatsoever. It's,
These guys.
it's irrelevant to have a family. These kids don't need to know who their daddy is.
Oh, no.
That's why kids learn that, their first words aren't, mama. It's, are you? My.
Who are you?
Is that our new daddy?
Well, nowadays the norm is you find out who your daddy is on Murray, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way it's done now.
Yeah,
Apparently.
Maury Povich.
Yeah, the records show that you are not the father.
That cracks me up.
Oh my God!
Kills
I
me.
watch this and I'm like, really?
And the thing was, that was an idea for one show.
Yes,
And that's turned into his only topic.
pretty much. Yeah,
That and kids' talent shows.
people eat it up. And I don't know why. I absolutely have no idea why.
They do. I mean, what's more entertaining to me is, the women that go on there and it's like their 7th time and they still can't figure out who their kid's daddy
I
is.
would be so proud to be one of them girls' mother. sitting
Oh,
at home.
yeah.
I call Aunt Millie, get on the TV. You got it. Little Billy Joe, she's going to be on TV today. She might find out who her daddy is. Yeah, I'd be so proud. Play the national anthem. I'll
Oh,
stay
it
with my
kills
hand
me.
on my heart.
And they are so mean to every guy that goes on there
Oh, yeah.
till the results come out.
Yeah, and then what always happens, she always stands up, stops off crying. It's not fair.
It's not fair. You did it to him. He's got every right to be up dancing around going,
Yeah. In your face.
yeah. And I want to know how many people you have to sleep with in order for it to have that problem. I'm confused. I'm not
Yeah.
sure which one it is.
That I don't know. How do we denigrate off into this? It's an
don't
interesting
know.
topic. It's an interesting topic. It truly is. But I don't understand it. I really don't.
So we went through baseball in New York. and
Let these
having
guys-
babies.
Bond with their babies.
Yes.
Let them bond with their babies.
Baseball season is long anyway.
It is. It actually is. It is.
The first couple
County
of
spring training.
yeah, baseball season basically starts at the end of football season.
Yeah.
When baseball season ends, football season is starting.
Yeah. That's a long stretch. That's a long stretch.
They play 100 some odd games a year. Miss one or two.
Yeah.
What position did this guy play? I didn't even pay attention to this. Do we know?
Yes. Of course we know. I'm well versed on my topics here. He's a second baseman.
A second baseman who misses he missed one game last year.
The whole year, he only missed one game.
Your pitching staff, dun dun dun, if you think about it, they get on a rotation. So whoever's luck of the draw that day, them other guys got to get up and play? Better set them out in a ball field somewhere. They're not playing ball.
No kidding. No kidding.
Give this guy his time with his family. It's not hurting you.
That's just boggles my brain.
And the last time I checked, the Mets weren't in the World Series in the past few years.
Hadn't been for a while. No.
No.
Well, it's not like the old days when women are cranking out, this is their 12th or 14th child. She barely gets out of bed for it, And I'm like, no, nowadays you only have like 2, maybe 3 children, the average. So it's not something you're going to get to experience very often.
Well, unless you're...
Octomom?
Yeah.
No, she did it all at once. Yeah, I never wanted to have a litter. I have issues with that. I said that. I did. I said that out loud. Yeah. But she went out of her way to get it, so she's got it coming. This boggles my brain. Boggled my brain. This is so amazing. Dennis sent me a link on Facebook. Said, did you see this? And I'm like, yes, I did. I saw that. I got that. We're going to talk about that. It's unbelievable. You got to follow this now. In Spartanburg, South Carolina, according to the Associated Press, a judge sentenced a South Carolina woman to 20 years in prison Friday for killing her 6-week-old daughter with what prosecutors say was an overdose of morphine delivered through her breast milk. Kid you not. The woman breastfed her baby to death. Hello? Really?
I can't even really say what's going on in my head.
That's because your brain's boggled at the moment.
The poor baby died from too much titty.
Oh, stop it. Stephanie Green,
That's a
39-year-old
wrong
woman.
thing.
Yeah. 39-year-old woman said nothing as a minimum sentence was handed down. A minimum sentence. A jury found the former nurse. Nurse.
Yeah, that's what.
Nurse. Who understands.
That was a grabbing point of the article for me.
Yes. She understands how morphine works. She
How it stays in the
understands how it's
system, where it
metabolized.
goes.
Yes, she knows what passes through breast milk. Yes, she was a former nurse. They found her guilty of homicide by child abuse the day before, and she could have faced up to life behind bars. So I guess 20 years is a light sentence. God. Her lawyer said she will appeal, and it's likely the case will be tied up for years to come. Both the prosecutor and Green's lawyer agree that no mother has ever been prosecuted in the United States for killing her child through a substance transmitted in breast milk. This is very bizarre, and they're on kind of uncharted grounds here. Green's daughter, Alexis, was born healthy, but was found dead in her parents' bed just 46 days after she was born in November 2010. An autopsy found a level of morphine in the baby's body that a pathologist testified could have been lethal for an adult. I don't know how mom was functioning. Well, she's laying in bed. She's probably out cold, not functioning either.
Yeah, she's taking that much herself.
Yeah.
So, did she have a prescription for all this morphine?
Well, they said with no needle marks on the child's body, authorities decided the drugs must have been gotten into the infant through her mother's milk, according to prosecutors. A review of her medical records showed the Green carefully hid her pregnancy from her primary doctor. Went out of her way, okay? After a home pregnancy test showed that she was pregnant, she told her primary doctor she needed to go to a gynecologist for birth control. She then got prenatal care from that doctor while not telling her all of the painkillers she was taking. She also skipped appointments with her primary physician when it was obvious she was pregnant and sent her husband to pick up her painkiller prescriptions.
Oh, well, yeah, she needed to go down anyway.
Well, the prosecutor said she was a nurse. She knew how the system worked and how to work it. She caused the loss of that child. Green spent more than 10 years racked with chronic pain after a car wreck before her unexpected pregnancy with her husband in 2010. Wise argued the prosecutors didn't prove how the baby got the morphine, and there's little scientific evidence that enough morphine can gather in breast milk to kill an infant. Okay, bottom line. The woman was a nurse. The child on autopsy, and I hate those two words together, I cannot tell you how much, but discovered enough morphine in that baby's system to potentially kill an adult. It got there somehow. The baby was in mom and dad's bed. No, you don't have a leg to stand on to argue this one. But the fact that the woman was a nurse,
Yeah.
no,
It's not good.
no.
Because you can't even pull off the, I was misinformed or I didn't have proper education.
I didn't
You're
understand.
a nurse. You are educated.
Yeah, she can't say, I didn't understand how it worked. Oh, yes, you did. Yes,
Because she
you
was
did.
smart enough to know how to get around doing it.
No kidding. You went to nursing school. They talk about metabolism and how you metabolize drugs and how you metabolize different substances in your body.
Yep.
Okay? She knew. She knew. And I think 20 years is kind of a slap in the face. I don't think it was enough.
Yeah. She took a life of an innocent person.
And she went out of her way, hiding
To do
her
it.
pregnancy from her primary doctor because she knew the primary doctor would say, I'm not giving you all the painkillers.
And it was all to benefit her.
Yes. Yes.
Gee.
So that she could continue getting the number of pain pills that she was getting before she got pregnant.
That a proper, diagnosis from a doctor, they wouldn't have given them to her.
Yeah. This is the kind of woman to go after. This is the kind of woman to vilify and rubber face of the fact that
No
what
one's
you did
ever
was
been
heinous.
prosecuted of this. Well, gee, it's time to start.
Yeah, it happens. It's time to start. This is what you go after. Leave the guy that wanted to stay 3 days and take his allowed
Paternity leave.
paternity leave to bond with his baby. Leave this poor guy alone.
Yeah, let's go after the lady who's got morphine milk.
Morphine milk. Oh, how horrible. It's just the most idiotic thing.
See, I find
swear.
good ones every now and then.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I'd already seen it, but that was good. And I'm like, yep. Send me if you see a good one, because you never know. I might not be on. I'm not on all the time, so I might miss something.
Yeah, well, I figured you were gone with hubby, so maybe,
Well, there you go. And
you're
according to
off
Associated
Cirque du
Press,
Soleil in it.
yes, I was. I went to the Cirque du Soleil. Oh my God, that was amazing. If you ever get a chance to see Cirque du Soleil in person, do it.
Nobody
I highly
fell,
recommend
nobody
it.
died.
No, nobody died. But I was really amazed because they actually come and set up a tent. Like the old Barnum and Bailey Ringling Circus.
Yeah.
They actually come and set up a tent. It's an awesome tent, too. It's blue and yellow spiral, and it's got points, and it looks like something out of a fairy castle land. It's amazing.
I was wondering about that because they've come to areas of Seattle that weren't your normal areas where you'd see a performance, the Seattle Center or something like that. No.
They have to find
was-
somewhere they can put a tent up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It is. And the nice thing about it is, like, for an example, my middle daughter took me to see Cher on her farewell performance. We went to the Key Arena.
And amazingly, she didn't fare well.
Amazing, isn't it? But we went to the Key Arena. Now, Key Arena, if you've ever been there,
Yes.
they have, when they talk about a nosebleed section, they aren't kidding. We're talking, the Himalayas up here. And we were sitting up here, and Cher was a little glittering bug down on the stage. And yeah, they had the screen so that you see bigger, what's going on the stage. But I got to tell you, this was such a nice experience that this is huge. They're a huge group, Cirque du Soleil, they're huge. They had their tent. The seating was like this instead of all the way around. And there really wasn't a bad seat in the house. There really was. We were lucky. We were like right in the front, and we were probably like 10 seats back. But it wasn't bad at all. I was really amazed.
I had seats like that for a Seahawks game.
Yeah, well, that's sports, okay? What I loved is that in the Cirque du Soleil, the stage is actually, think of it as a performer. It is so important to the production. What they did
Wow.
with that stage was mind-boggling. What we saw was Cirque du Soleil. It was called Totem, and it follows the evolution of man. Put it that way. Amazing. Loved it. Loved it. I want to do it again.
Wow.
Want to do it again.
I've wanted to get a chance. I didn't get to when I was in Vegas, and I'm just too broke to go see them when they've come up here. So,
Well, even getting really good seats are like $90 a seat,
yeah.
which sounds like a lot of money, and it is a lot of money. But when you figure that a lot of entertainers now, when they show up, you're paying $135 for a nosebleed seat. This
Or
is
worse.
$90 for a seat you can see.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I mean, someone had. I just saw a recent post for that people were astounded by the amount they were charging for the Eagles in concert
oh, really?
coming here locally to Tacoma Dome. I think it is,
Oh, I got real excited when I heard it's the history of the Eagles.
and it's almost $1,000 for front row stuff, and then it drops down to like $700 for a little
Are
bit
you
cheaper.
serious?
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I'd listen to the CD, an MP3,
No
an
kidding!
album. I'd listen to an 8-track.
It'll be out on DVD.
Yeah.
You know it will. At some
Yeah.
point, it'll be out on DVD. You can watch it. You can sit there eating your own food in your own living room. Now,
Yeah.
$1,000 for a front row ticket. Oh, that's stupid.
Don't got to worry about the guy next to you telling you for smoking.
Oh.
Oh,
Well, it's kind of like the ball games, like football and basketball and baseball. It used to be when you want to take the kids out somewhere, have a nice little outing with the kids, the whole family, you go maybe catch a baseball game. That's what we did when I was a kid.
yep.
We
Not
had
no more. You can't afford
we had
it.
our version of the Kitsap Blue Angels, or it's Blue Angels, or no,
Blue Jackets.
Blue Jackets. Sorry, yeah, but we had our version of the Kitsap Blue Jackets.
Blue Angels airplanes.
Yeah, the airplanes, fast guys. But it was great. We'd go for an afternoon on a Saturday afternoon, watch a baseball game, maybe a doubleheader, get a hot dog and a soda. And my brother and I thought we were living high on the hog. We thought this was like the end all be all of high-end entertainment.
Yep. I used to
was
do that a
great.
bit living in Spokane. Used to go watch the Spokane Indians.
Yeah, it was fun.
I thought that was like big time to me.
Yeah, but now you can't take your kids to go see a Mariners game.
Not a Mariners game. You could try to go to Tacoma and see the Aqua Sox.
Maybe. The pricing to get in is just
Ridiculous.
stupid. Well, first there's parking, and then there's prices
yeah.
to get in.
Yeah.
And then they have what is it, $7 or $8 hot dogs,
Oh, probably
something like that, $7 or $8 hot dogs.
$8 beer.
Oh yeah, that's one thing that really did irk me about Cirque du Soleil was once they get you in and you're a captive audience, which is exactly what you are.
Then they rope some
Everything's
more money out of
$5. You want a soda? And we're talking a bottle, the little bottle, plastic bottle of soda. It's a $5. $5. You want my aunt's grandson got a little bag of M&Ms. $5.
Amazing.
$5. $5. A sandwich was $12. That was the most expensive thing. $12. And if you wanted a thing of popcorn, it was $7.25. And I'm like, really?
Well, at least with the plastic, bottle of soda, you know that, you're getting the same amount. as,
Yeah.
you know what you're getting. You're not getting a large price for the same amount that's in a medium.
Talking about that deceptive advertising for that. Yeah. This happened here. I believe it was, I think it was a Mariner Stadium. I believe.
There's either that or
But there's a lawsuit coming in another state. I talked about this last week. It was in another state, but they're actually
for
filing.
hockey.
That was in a hockey stadium. But they're filing a lawsuit because they showed. And we saw this.
The vendors.
We saw this on a video on Facebook from, like I said, I believe it's a Mariner Stadium. You have a large cup of beer. You have a small cup. Like if you get a small beer, this is what they give you. If you get a large beer, this is what they give you. They take the big cup of beer and pour the entire cup into a small cup.
Yep.
And you're sitting there going, oh, it's magic. That's amazing.
And it was
No,
magic.
it's not. It's a scam. They have tall, narrow cups for a large drink. Okay, tall, narrow cups. Then for the smaller drinks, they have squat, wider cups, short,
Yep.
fat cups. They hold the same amount of liquid. But they charge you, I don't know, how much is a large beer? It's like
$8 or something
yeah,
like
something
that.
like
It's
$8.
nuts.
Yeah, and a small was like $4. So they charge you twice as much for the big cup with the same amount of beer as a little cup. I hate this stuff. I really do. But we'll talk about it, and that's what counts. We'll be back right after this. It's The Raw Nerve, and I'll see you in a sec.
What they do, they smile in your face. All the time they want to take your place, the backstabbers. Backstabbers, they smiling in your face. All the time they want to take your place, the backstabbers. Backstab all you fellas who have someone.
Our news in Washington, I'm Windsor Johnston. Pro-Russian demonstrators took over local government buildings in 3 cities in eastern Ukraine today. NPR's Ari Shapiro reports activists in Donetsk broke through a police line.
The rally in Donetsk attracted more than 1,000 people, waving Russian flags and chanting, "Donetsk is a Russian city." A group of a few dozen protesters broke off from the crowd and forced their way into a regional administrative building. Video posted online shows the men standing on a balcony, arms raised high. While western Ukraine identifies with Europe, eastern cities like Donetsk align more with Russia. Some people there say they want to follow the Crimean Peninsula, which Russia annexed from Ukraine last month. Ari Shapiro, NPR News, Kiev.
A memorial service honoring the 3 soldiers who were killed in a shooting rampage at Fort Hood last week was held today at a church near the Texas military base. NPR's Kirk Sigler reports grief counselors and mental health professionals are also offering their support throughout the area.
Churches and other community centers on and off the Fort Hood post are serving as gathering areas for those still coping with last week's deadly shooting. The Department of Veterans Affairs also has dispatched mobile counseling clinics for soldiers and their families in the parking lots at 2 local Walmarts. Andrea Farmer is supervising the effort for the VA's Readjustment Counseling Service.
And we're going to be here as long as the community needs us. So we don't have right now a date of closure. As long as we're needed, we're going to be here.
The mobile centers are staffed with 6 licensed clinicians throughout the day. Farmer says they've been fairly busy since they arrived in the hours after Wednesday's shooting. Kirk Sigler, NPR News, Killeen, Texas.
Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel has delivered forceful remarks about China. Hagel says the country is a great power, but he urged Beijing to use its power responsibly.
With this power comes new and wider responsibilities as to how you use that power. How do you employ that military power?
Hagel spoke in Tokyo today, where there's concern over a territorial dispute with China over islands in the East China Sea. He also announced the U.S. will send 2 additional ballistic missile destroyers to Japan amid threats by North Korea. Hagel is expected to travel to China tomorrow. A British ship with special sound-locating devices has arrived in an area of the Indian Ocean where the search for a missing Malaysian jetliner continues. A Chinese ship reported picking up 2 pulse signals over the weekend. An Australian ship today also picked up a sound in the same search area but 300 miles away. 239 passengers and crew were on board the plane that was traveling from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. This is NPR. Researchers have taken a big step toward making a simple blood test that can detect lung cancer. NPR's Richard Harris reports.
Lung cancer is usually not picked up by a doctor until it has started to progress, but that could soon change. Researchers at Stanford University say they've developed a test that can pick up tiny amounts of DNA from a lung tumor in someone's blood. That test can be used to help guide treatments, and it can often pick up early-stage lung cancer in people who aren't yet feeling sick. This report in Nature Medicine is just the latest advance for a technology that may ultimately be useful to spot many different types of cancer early when they are easier to treat. Richard Harris, NPR News.
Gas prices are up again in the U.S. The latest Lundberg survey says the price for a gallon of regular has risen 5 cents in the past 2 weeks. Gas price analyst Trilby Lundberg says prices will most likely continue to go up for now.
There may be a few more pennies coming because of the elements that we already have in place, demand growing, and seasonally rising costs to make lower vapor pressure product.
Drivers are paying on average about $3.61 for a gallon of regular. That's the highest price in Lundberg's biweekly surveys since July of last year. The women's NCAA semifinals are underway this evening. Right now, top seed Notre Dame is taking on number 4 Maryland. Later tonight, number 1 seed UConn faces 2nd seed Stanford. Kentucky and Connecticut will meet tomorrow in the men's NCAA championship game. I'm Windsor Johnston, NPR News in Washington.
Support for NPR comes from...
Hey, sports fans, have you ever wished there was a live and local all-sports broadcasting network, but wish no more? It's ISPNSports.com, Kitsap's only live and local all-sports 24-hour broadcasting network, featuring the Kitsap Blue Jackets, the Olympic College Rangers, high school athletics, and the ISPN Sports Show every Saturday morning from 10 to noon with interviews from exclusive guests from around the Sound. So, you want sports? Go to ISPNSports.com.
The Loft at Latitude 47.7 in Paulsbo is an amazing way to enjoy a night out on the town. At The Loft, they feature a full menu including fresh seafood, amazing appetizers, and tempting desserts. Plus, with Happy Hour Daily, you can enjoy great discounts on draft beer, house wines, and selected menu items. The Loft at Latitude 47.7, open 7 days a week at 18779 Front Street in Paulsbo, overlooking the beautiful Paulsbo waterfront. The Loft at Latitude 47.7, Paulsbo's only waterfront restaurant and bar.
I'm Elaine Terso with Elaine Terso Photography. Let me tell you why I say that I am not your average photographer. At Elaine Terso Photography, I can handle all of your photography needs, including weddings, families, and newborns. I have an in-home studio, or I am able to come to you to take photos wherever you want to be. Mention Guardian Broadcasting when you book, and I will give you a 10% discount. For more information, visit me online at ElaineTersoPhotography.com or find me on Facebook.
As Kitsap County's largest maintenance provider, Team Innovative in Paulsbo provides commercial and residential maintenance to hundreds of millions of dollars of local real estate. With services including parking lot maintenance and street cleaning to landscape and design, Team Innovative is committed to using a green approach and following a strong environmental conscience. Team Innovative Services, 697-6858, or visit them online at getinnovative.net. Team Innovative Services, get serious, get innovative.
Hi, this is Stephen Gardner from the Kitsap Sun. There are 3 things we try to do on the Kitsap Caucus blog. Give you more about the story that didn't fit in the regular piece. Give you the story behind the story. We also try to draw attention to other news you might have missed. And sometimes, I like to poke fun at Port Orchard. Read the Kitsap Caucus blog at thekitsapsun.com.
Heather Madden, former machinist, wins success as a skilled professional rock star.
No more working dusty old machine shops for me. Being the boss of my own professional rock band has improved my life in every way, and I owe it all to the cool gear at Kitsap Music.
What do you want? Substantial spare time? Groupies? Leather pants? Use only certified cool products from Kitsap Music.
Keep it going now. Terry. Wait. Band.
And welcome to hour number 2 of The Raw Nerve, heard only on edgemediasource.com. And you can give us a call at 253-617-1440. Now we go to your host. Here is Susan C.
Thank you, Dennis. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back. If you were with us last hour, this is the second hour of The Raw Nerve.
It is.
I'm Susan C. I'm your host, and joining me on the other side of the glass is Bad Boy Diz D.
Hello.
How you doing, darling?
Oh, just fine.
Now tell everybody your boo-boo.
My boo-boo.
Your boo-boo.
My raw nerve crap for the day. that squatters have more rights than people that live in the house.
No. Something about D. Darby.
Oh, yeah. I gave the wrong date for opening.
Yes, you did.
I told everyone that it was May 7th. That's how eager I am for the season to start. And, the actual starting date is the 17th.
The 17th.
Of May. And
Circle
it's a Saturday.
Yeah, circle it on the calendar.
You could definitely find us on Facebook, Kitsap Destruction Derby Association, or KDDA. And you can get our full schedule there.
Cool. They ever let people just come in and do that? people.
Yeah, anybody pretty much can. We post rules and regs and what you got to do to build the car, or if you happen to know somebody that has a car.
See, that's it. You have to provide the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not just going to give you stuff.
Why not? I try it.
It's expensive.
Yeah, it's a car. There you go.
They do have chick races though.
Oh, well.
It's called Powder Puff.
Yeah.
For female drivers, you know.
Don't want to break a nail?
Not everybody's Danica Patrick. Do you know who she is even?
Yes, I know Danica Patrick.
You don't know sports, though, so I thought I'd help you out.
She is the NCAA or NASCAR driver, the only female driver, I believe. And from what I understand...
Only one getting attention, anyway.
From what I understand, she crashes before the races, usually. Pretty much.
Well, she was successful in another...
venue?
Yeah, it wasn't with NASCAR, and it was a different style car. She was doing, like, Indy-style cars.
Yeah, well...
Open wheel racing, and it's a totally different beast.
Sounds like fun, though. It would be fun to try it. It would be fun to try it. Well, I'll tell you what. I hope you all have a great Sunday.
Yes.
It was actually dry today. I am amazed. I am stunned and amazed.
Yeah, and no Outlaw Radio Network today.
Well, there will be. There will be
kind of
a best of.
A best of, yes.
Best of, yes.
The guys are taking the day off.
Apparently, there's something called WrestleMania going on.
Yeah, which is so important.
Where a bunch of big guys in skimpy clothes jump on top of each other.
But let me tell you, brother.
But if you did this anywhere else, but in that wrestling ring,
yeah,
people would have things to say about you.
Yeah, you could be in deep doo-doo.
Yeah. I just know Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan.
And I remember Andre the Giant.
Oh, poor Andre.
My mom, oddly enough, my mom loved Andre the Giant. She thought he was just the nicest boy. I'm like, Mom, he's a mountain. He's not a boy. He's a mountain.
Now, see, I had my fiance. She grew up loving Andre the Giant, but she actually had a crush on him for a while.
Ah.
But she grew up in somewhat of a not a good situation, and so she always viewed these big burly guys as people that were going to come rescue her.
Ah, he could have done it. He's a big boy. Big boy.
He was.
Well, there is a lot going on in the world today. I'm telling you, things that make me just despair of the human condition altogether.
It's a condition now?
Oh, yeah. It's a serious condition.
I got to go get help for my condition.
Well, remember the last hour, the congressman says Congress is underpaid. Really?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
And that means that one of them actually believed that.
$174,000 a year.
But we're underpaid.
To do nothing. And they get to take vacations and breaks and quit for the year without even having the work done. But they're underpaid. Right.
Just because you made some bad financial decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably listen to that baby on the commercials, let the babies pick his stocks. I worry about that. I think that's a bad example to set. Don't let a baby pick your stocks. I'm just saying. Just saying. Now there are interesting things.
Stop that.
Wasn't me. There are interesting things that go on in this world. I'm telling you. There are people who are so lucky. They should buy every lottery ticket that comes down the pike. It's unbelievable. It really is. CNN reported that the calendar, though it said March, last Monday was clearly Valentine's Day. James Valentine, to be specific. The 21-year-old Pennsylvania man, and this is just mind-boggling, survived a work accident that sent the razor-sharp teeth of a chainsaw blade deep into his neck and shoulder and barely a centimeter from a vital artery. Thanks to quick but cautious work by his colleagues, I'll bet, and medical responders, 30 stitches and an hour of surgery a day after the incident, Valentine was recovering in a stable condition at a Pennsylvania hospital. He looks more like himself, and he's walking and talking today, according to his sister, Becca. We can't believe it at all. I'll bet he looks more like himself without this giant hunk of metal sticking out of his neck.
Yeah.
Wow. It's this picture this is unbelievable. Go on Google and type in man survives chainsaw accidents. There is an X-ray that is mind-numbing. Just wow. Yeah, who gets this lucky? Now, Valentine was on his job with Adler Tree Service in Gibsonia, north of Pittsburgh, and was performing maintenance work on a pine tree when the chainsaw kicked back. According to his sister, the blade sawed into flesh instead of wood, and Valentine's coworkers were able to detach the blade from the motor, but they left the blade and chain where it was. Very smart. That's what they should have done. They left it in Valentine, about a quarter of an inch from the carotid artery that supplies blood to the head.
And the chain broke inside of it. Oh, my God.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're looking at the X-ray, aren't you?
Yeah.
They held the blade in place until emergency responders could arrive. On the ambulance ride to Allegheny General Hospital in Pittsburgh, Valentine was awake and alert. Wow. According to hospital spokeswoman, the hospital's director of trauma, Dr. Christine Toves, said that the trauma unit had 10 minutes to prepare to get ready for a man coming up with a chainsaw blade in his neck. She said, we prepare for the worst. The unit expects the injuries to be catastrophic. She said this kind of injury would usually cause major damage or sever the spinal cord, esophagus, or the airway. Instead, somehow, Mr. Valentine sustained most of his injuries to muscles and soft tissue around the shoulder rather than his neck. After Valentine was stabilized and anesthetized, doctors removed the blade. There was not even major blood loss. The blade had missed the vital carotid artery by a mere centimeter.
Wow, that was...
You look at that X-ray, and it looks like it's right there.
Yeah.
Gee. Whoa. See what I mean, though? This man should buy a lottery ticket, and every lottery ticket that comes down the pipe.
For real.
I don't get that lucky, I'm telling you.
Oh.
Give you the heebie-jeebies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've been around, chainsaws quite a bit. You know, my dad and I used to, growing up, we used to go cut wood to get, and get firewood for the year. And so, yeah, I'm close to that. I've taken a split maul to the toe that went through my shoe. That was my own stupid fault. So,
well, we used to live down on Kitsap Lake, and there was a knock on my door one day where one of my neighbors had sawed his thumb off with a table saw and wanted us to call somebody. And the really bizarre thing about this whole thing, it was the second time he had done it. I kid you not.
Second time he'd done
The
it?
second time he cut his
Yeah,
thumb
so
off.
I guess it's really hard to die when you have no thumbs because you've done it twice.
No, it was the same thumb. They had reattached it.
The people that
Can you see that,
surround us-
doctor? Now, I put in hours of good work on that damn thing, and you go and cut it off again. Really? I can see it now. I can just see it.
The poor doctor, too.
I felt really bad for the poor guy, too, but still, come on. You got one break. Turn around and do it again. Let your wife cut the wood. Lowe's will cut the wood for you now. Lowe's will cut the wood for you. Just have them do it. And I'll tell you, I'm always saying that politically, I am not a Republican. I am not a Democrat. I am fiercely independent. I'm proud of that. But I got to tell you, I worry a lot. Republicans call the Supreme Court's latest ruling on campaign donations a victory for free speech. Right. Democrats would say it's more like a win for the wealthy. I'm thinking that smacks more of the truth right there. Either way, it's likely to benefit the two major political parties and their candidates for Congress, who are now able to seek donations from deep pocket contributors who can give more without running afoul of the law. Up until this ruling came down last week, there were very strict caps on how much any group, organization, or individual could donate to a particular campaign fundraiser or just hand them so much money. There was only so much you could do because, I don't know, absolute power corrupts absolutely, and absolute money buys anything you can imagine. Yeah. The court has once again reminded Congress that Americans have a constitutional First Amendment right to speak and associate with political candidates and parties of their choice. This is according to Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell of Kentucky. After the court struck down a limit on the amount donors may give to candidates, party committees and political action committees combined. He added that the court's ruling makes it clear that it is the, quote, right of the individual and not the prerogative of Congress to determine how many candidates and parties to support, unquote. That's one way of looking at it, I suppose. Yet two Senate Democrats told a news conference the ruling was another in a string of decisions by a conservative court majority that strengthens the ability of wealthy donors to have an impact on politics. It advantages wealthy people over everybody else, according to Senator Chuck Schumer, Democrat from New York. Now, Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, a Democrat from Rhode Island, said, "We see the Supreme Court behaving in a way that would be matched if the 5 conservative judges made it a strategy to go off and sit in a room by themselves and decide how to best implement the Republican agenda, and then came out and did it." See, the bottom line of it is that the Congress right now is enjoying, I suppose is a word you could use, its lowest approval rate in decades. I mean, at one point, I kid you not, hemorrhoids placed higher in public approval than Congress. It's true. What does that tell you? And I'm telling you, I think it's getting to the point that certain parties are thinking the only way they're going to win in 2016 is to be able to just throw obscene amounts of money into it. Saturation. And that takes money.
Everything
takes
takes
a lot of
money.
money. But that takes a phenomenal amount of money.
It's all money.
Yeah. The
Something
court's
we
5-4 ruling was
all
a
don't
fresh,
have enough of.
Yeah, it was a fresh declaration that many limits on big money contributions violates the giver's free speech rights. Continuing a steady erosion of the restrictions under Chief Justice John Roberts, the biggest of those rulings was a 2010 decision in the Citizens United case that lifted restrictions on independent spending by corporations and labor unions. Yeah. So basically, corporations can donate as much as they want to whomever they want. Do we remember Senator Yee from the first hour?
Yeah.
Who has just been arrested with all those co-conspirators for corruption? He traded political power, just flat, that's the only way you can describe it. He traded political power for money. If you give corporations unlimited money to give to people like this, what kind of government do you think we're going to end up with? And yes, the argument can be made that this is not what all of our Congress is like, or all of our Senate, and I'm sure it's not. I will grant you that I even believe that the vast majority of politicians sitting on the Hill in Washington, D.C., the vast majority genuinely mean to and feel that they are doing the very best they can for the constituents and the people of the United States. I will give you that.
But,
and it's a big but.
Baby got back.
Yeah. I do firmly believe that there are enough politicians up there who maybe aren't as egregious about it as Senator Yee to get caught up in an FBI corruption scandal.
Yeah.
But there's enough. If your conscience were where it's supposed to be, it would give you pause what you're doing.
Not a conscience.
Yeah, the conscience. Yeah, Jiminy Cricket, the whole 9 yards. There's enough of that, I think, going on up there that our political structures, whether it's Democrat or Republican or Independent or whoever, it can't tolerate unlimited money funneling in. Not end up with anything that remotely looks like what our founding fathers intended this country to look like. And that worries me. That scares me. You've got people trying to take guns away. Okay? I don't think that's a solution. I really don't. I believe the guns don't kill people. People kill people. I'm a firm believer if you took an AK-47 and you put it on a leash and you walked it around the block, the odds are it's not going to strain at the leash and go off and shoot people. I believe that. Call me naive.
Well, it's, people
There
do
are
bad things.
There are certain things that this country is based on. Our founding fathers, one of them is we have the right to have and bear guns. We have the right to freedom of speech. That means that I have the right to come on here and say what I feel about, say, Senator Yee.
Yeah.
That he's a conniving, sneaky weasel of a human being.
Ooh.
I just said that.
Just
Because
to
this
put
is the
it
United
lightly.
States of America. Because of it, I can go to bed tonight, lay my head down with reasonable confidence that there's not going to be a knock on the door in the middle of the night and it's going to be the Gestapo and I'm going to wake up tomorrow in a gulag somewhere. And I have been disappeared, as has happened in this world. There are places in this world today you are not allowed to speak what you feel,
Very true.
how you feel, and what you think. And this is...
And don't dare speak about your government.
Oh, no, no, no. This is absolutely an anathema. This is intolerable. We're spoiled.
Well,
As a people, we're spoiled. We really are.
yeah, well, and there's proof of that freedom of speech from the last hour, Good old Boomer Esiason.
Oh, yeah. How dare he take 3 whole days when his wife had a C-section? He should have been out there hitting the baseball or shagging baseballs, whatever they do. Second baseman do. Yeah. But I'm telling you, we are truly spoiled. Because, and some people absolutely, beyond any shadow of the doubt, abuse of privilege. Freedom of speech does not mean that I have the freedom to go around in my life and make other people miserable. Nobody has the right to go around and make other people miserable. Now, if I'm a politician and I do something truly stupid like Senator Yee did, then, yeah, I have the right to come along and tell him he's a weaselly, smarmy, horrible human being, because that's a truth. But he started it. No. All right. It's not so much he started. If you go that far out of the norm.
He poked me first.
Yep. I'm not touching you. If you go out of your way and you get caught in something like this, no holds barred. You got to expect it. It's going to come. People are going to talk bad about you. But just in every day. I cannot believe, like, for an example, we're talking about that second base, the Mets second base catcher.
Second baseman.
Second baseman, yes. Who caught a rash, basically, for actually taking 3 whole days of maternity leave that he's allowed to take when his wife had their first baby. Okay. Freedom of speech means that those radio announcers were allowed to go on their radio shows and say, hey, guy, what's wrong with you? It's a birth. Go watch the baby get spit out, get your butt back to the park, play ball. They're allowed to say that.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it right.
Doesn't prove that they're intelligent.
It doesn't make it right, and it doesn't make it right to say hurtful things about issues such as this. You get caught taking bribes and stuff, and you're sitting in Congress or Senate. Yeah, you're going to get it.
You deserve to be...
You deserve it. You're going to get every dime of it, every bit.
Yes.
But I'll tell you, I got to wonder. I really got to wonder. Just saying. I like my freedom of speech.
Freedom to nag.
Hush. I'm a wife. Wives are allowed to nag. We have a license.
Yeah, okay, but...
That lawn's not going to mow itself.
Who starts the training at the girlfriend stage? Who signed that paperwork?
It's a secret.
See, the women in their secret society.
Yeah, see, if I blabbed that, I would have a knock on my door in the middle of the night.
Oh, yeah, right.
You bet. Now, I got to tell you, this one just kind of made me pause for a moment. One of the things, as you know, Washington State and Colorado are among the first in the nation to legalize
Mary Jane.
buying and using marijuana. Right.
Yeah, but it's against the law to sell it.
Well, so far, yeah. Because they have to figure out how to sell it and the state gets their cut. That's why.
Oh,
But-
the stores are coming, believe me.
Oh, yeah, I know. But one of the big arguments they've always used is that there has never, ever been a single death attributed to marijuana. Okay, and it's true. That is true.
I guess there has been a study though to find out how much it would take to be considered
To overdose somebody?
Yeah.
Yep.
900 joints.
Yeah, 900.
So-
900. That's a lot.
I want to know who did the study.
And where's the poor guy that did the study? Where's he buried?
Yeah.
Yeah, in a lead-lined coffin
Because the
somewhere.
dude next to him was like, okay, I'm not going to smoke this last one. I'll just smoke half.
899 and a half.
Or
Sucker.
or was this 98?
Oops. I lost count. Yeah. I can see
Ah.
that. But no, this has always been an anthem, if you will, for the people who wanted marijuana legalized, is the fact that there's never been, and there hasn't, a documented death. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a quick break here at the
Yeah.
bottom of the hour. Come back. I'll tell you what they're trying to call a death related to marijuana. Back after this.
Busting my hump, helping his daddy stay rich. So when he kept me behind to pull some overtime, I told that little son of a hey, I've been punching your clock, giving all I got, putting up with your pain in the rear. Adios, I'm done. You can find me, son, between a hearty and a nice cold beer. Hey, I've been breaking my butt, but it's never enough. Ain't a part of me that doesn't hurt. Hey, but lucky for me, you can easily see I still got a finger that works. Yeah, I've been dragging home almost every night about the time that you're going out.
I'm Elaine Terso with Elaine Terso Photography. Let me tell you why I say that I am not your average photographer. At Elaine Terso Photography, I can handle all of your photography needs, including weddings, families, and newborns. I have an in-home studio, or I am able to come to you to take photos wherever you want to be. Mention Guardian Broadcasting when you book, and I will give you a 10% discount. For more information, visit me online at ElaineTersoPhotography.com or find me on Facebook.
As Kitsap County's largest maintenance provider, Team Innovative in Paulsbo provides commercial and residential maintenance to hundreds of millions of dollars of local real estate. With services including parking lot maintenance and street cleaning to landscape and design, Team Innovative is committed to using a green approach and following the strong environmental conscience. Team Innovative Services, 697-6858, or visit them online at getinnovative.net. Team Innovative Services, get serious, get innovative.
Hi, this is Stephen Gardner from the Kitsap Sun. There are 3 things we try to do on the Kitsap Caucus blog. Give you more about the story that didn't fit in the regular piece. Give you the story behind the story. We also try to draw attention to other news you might have missed. And sometimes, I like to poke fun at Port Orchard. Read the Kitsap Caucus blog at thekitsapsun.com.
Heather Madden, former machinist, wins success as a skilled professional rock star.
No more working dusty old machine shops for me. Being the boss of my own professional rock band has improved my life in every way, and I owe it all to the cool gear at Kitsap Music.
What do you want? Substantial spare time? Groupies? Leather pants? Use only certified cool products from Kitsap Music.
Getting married, entertaining clients, or maybe you're just having a bash with your friends. No matter the occasion, make sure you plug into the tunes with E&M Entertainment. There are tons of DJs out there, but how many of them want to get to know you beforehand so they can play your soundtrack at your event at your kind of price? It's more than just a great selection. E&M plays your great selection, and that makes all the difference. So call 425-971-8078. That's 425-971-8078 for E&M Entertainment.
CoinForce.com is your headquarters for superior quality challenge coins, proudly serving military and non-military customers worldwide. Located near the main gate of McCord Air Force Base and close to Fort Lewis, CoinForce.com is owned and operated by retired military veterans. CoinForce.com understands your needs and are proud to continue serving the military community in our own special way. For an undisputed best value, extreme quality, and superior customer service, when you're looking for the world's largest selection of challenge coins, visit CoinForce.com, owned and operated by retired military veterans.
Come in.
to it, man.
And welcome back to the Raw Nerve, heard only here on EdgeMediaSource.com. Susan wasn't expecting that one. I'm prepared. And back to your host. Here's Susan C.
Thank you, Dennis. Well, welcome
Rick
back,
James!
everybody.
Hey, and I just received some information.
Yes.
We were misinformed.
Yes.
There is an episode of the Outlaw Radio Network tonight.
Really?
It's girls' night.
Girls' night. Oh.
It's all females.
Oh, you so want to watch this. You so want to watch it. Stay tuned after my show for the Outlaw Radio Network.
Matter of fact, I was told that
Normally
their board
hosted-
operator gets to be the token lucky penis for the night.
Really?
I'm terrified.
I'm fascinated. Okay. You're going to want to watch
The
this.
estrogen level in here is way too high for me.
Hush, child. Hush. We have ways to deal with your kind.
I'm sure you do. You guys have meetings.
People don't realize that you make a lot of comment and statement by the music that you play.
Yes.
Which is one of the reasons why I love having you do this, because you are so good at that. But we were talking before the break about the one and only case so far that we know that they're trying to pin on marijuana as being a factor in the death.
Yeah.
Somebody actually died.
I want to know.
Okay. Now, understand, and you're right, Dennis mentioned before the break that they did a study to find out how much marijuana someone would actually have to ingest in order to hit toxic levels to be fatal.
Yeah.
And it was 900 joints.
900 joints.
900.
You know what though? Did they go by
That's-
little pinner joints, or were
that's
they doing
more-
like Tommy Chong? You know,
That's more than your average garage band. That's more joints than your average garage band has. to
that's
hit.
more than Motley Crue smokes.
You know, that's bad. Yeah, that's bad. But now, get this. A Congolese exchange student jumped to his death after eating a marijuana cookie that his friend legally purchased in one of Colorado's recreational pot shops.
Are you kidding me?
I'm serious.
Are you kidding me?
I'm serious.
Someone actually. They're saying it's a marijuana-related death because
Yes.
he jumped to his death after eating a pot cookie.
Yes.
I haven't had one of those that's been good enough yet to make me even have a second thought about anything. He had issues before he ate the cookie.
Well, an autopsy report lists marijuana intoxication as, quote, a significant contributing factor, unquote, in the death of 19-year-old Levi Thambga-Pungi, a native of the Republic of Congo who fell from the motel balcony on March 11th. Now, that said fell from. Later in the report, it says he jumped over the balcony. Okay.
Okay, did he jump or fall?
Well, it said that the friends told investigators that Pungi ate the cookie and exhibited hostile behavior that included pulling things off the walls and speaking erratically. Attempts by the three friends to calm Pungi down seemed to work until he went outside and jumped over the balcony railing, according to the report. Now, I don't know about you, but I have had friends who smoke that wicked weed
Oh yes.
who tell me
the devil's weed.
that the most common thing to do after you have enjoyed some of this vile weed is to sit in a corner, eat Cheetos, and watch sad movies or comedies.
Wrong.
One or the other. That's what most people do.
We need comedies.
Or sleep.
A nap is definitely in order.
Yep.
And if you're gonna eat Cheetos, you gotta follow that up with something sweet. You gotta have ice cream or Oreos.
Cheetos.
Ice cream and Oreos.
Cheetos.
Or
I'm telling you.
or you break it down. You get a big tub of cookies and cream ice cream and go to town.
Cookies and cream ice cream.
If you're gonna have something salty, you gotta have something sweet.
Oh, my Lord.
Look, I cannot help the human palate. That's just the way it is. That's the way it works.
Well, the bottom line of it is that...
I'm sorry. I've never been that stoned. I wanted to be that dumb.
He didn't apparently even finish the cookie because one of his friends also tried the cookie but stopped after feeling sick. Now, I've got to wonder if there's something off about this cookie.
Yeah.
Besides the fact that there's marijuana in it.
Maybe the baker was a little too baked and made it wrong.
I don't know. The marijuana concentration in his blood was 7.2 nanograms of active THC, and that's all that tested positive. They tested for like 250 different substances.
Or maybe this guy had a chemical imbalance that disagreed with it.
I don't know. I just cannot believe that they're trying to make that to be, okay, there you go. Somebody's already died from marijuana.
Yeah, but prior to that, when it was illegal, there was not one report of this reefer madness nonsense
Yeah.
of, it's going to make you kill yourself. This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. I am so stoned right now, and I'm going to take a shotgun and blow my head off.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry, and I will freely admit I started smoking at a very young age. Early in my teenage years, we'll say that.
I'm a firm believer. I am an absolutely firm believer that if you're going to wage you'll pardon the term, war on drugs.
Drugs.
If you want to win this war on drugs,
Leave
number one,
leave the potheads alone.
pick your battles. Pick your battles.
Because potheads aren't running anywhere.
And stop making up statistics.
Yeah.
Stop making up statistics and figures and facts that support what you believe.
It's because they think the American public is stuck on stupid like a Band-Aid.
And we're not. We're truly not. No. So I don't know. I just thought that was really amazing that here we legalized marijuana, and all of a sudden people are dying from marijuana.
That is a mere, people that want it banned and illegal that still think that it is, heroin.
Well, I think it's like saying that somebody that goes to a bar and has a couple of drinks too many, gets behind the wheel of a car, drives home, gets in a crash, and gets killed in that crash. That's like saying, okay, the alcohol killed this person. Well, maybe roundabout, but it wasn't the actual alcohol that did it. It's the fact that he got behind a wheel when he was impaired. This guy shouldn't have been on a balcony when he's impaired, apparently. So I'm just saying. It's wrong. I don't like things that are wrong.
That is, and it's just the people that want it banned finding every little thing to complain about.
Oh yeah,
and that was their first glimmer of hope.
A good example. E-cigarettes. Okay, e-cigarettes are actually helping people quit smoking. Okay, I use one.
Yep.
I quit a 40-year tobacco habit with this, and the liquid that I have put in here has absolutely no nicotine in it. It starts off, you get a higher level of nicotine in it, and then you wean yourself down. I've now hit 0. I smoke it because I enjoy the flavor. Now, they're just putting on the news the other day that there is apparently an enormous uptick in reports to poison control centers around the country of people, primarily children, being overdosed on drinking the liquid that you put in these things, because you get them in little squirt bottles.
Yeah.
And it's called vape juice or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And the reason for that is you can get vape juice in things like Bear Claw. This is Mountain Dew. My favorite that I used to have, but they stopped making it, was Swedish Fish, cotton candy.
They haven't come up with bacon yet?
Oh, yes, there's bacon, there's glazed donuts. You name it, they pretty much have
a flavor.
Flavor for it. Now, the reason that these children are overdosing on this liquid is because, and I'm telling you this because I'm this brilliant to figure this out, the people who are using these and have the little bottles of the liquid are leaving the liquid and their electronic cigarettes laying around in such a way that they wouldn't have done with real cigarettes, where little kids could get into them. They're leaving the bottles around where the kids can, it says, something candy on it.
Yep.
Drink it, And I got
kids are going to check things out.
They will if you let them.
You don't keep your bleach out where your kid's going to grab it.
No. I keep my alcohol put up because I don't. 5 of my grandchildren live with me, with their mom. 5 of them.
See, that's not a sign of then, our products are bad for us. That's a sign of, people need to exercise some, some smarts.
But they're going to come out. You watch. I'm calling this one. They're going to come out, and they said that the reason that children are overdosing, nothing was said about parental responsibility. Okay? I'm keeping this stuff up. It was saying it's because they come in the flavors that they do, that it's enticing to children, and that it smells good, which is enticing to children, or that the bottles have cute picture items, something on them, which is enticing to children. And I'll tell you, I'm fed up with this. I'm fed up with the attitude that adults aren't allowed to have anything that smells good, looks good, feels good, tastes good, because it might. But is it good for a child?
Yeah.
Because it might appeal to a child. I'm tired of that. I mean, I understand they didn't want. They got rid of the cartoon marketing of cigarettes, so it wouldn't appeal to children. I don't believe that whoever came up with Joe Camel in order to entice young children to smoke.
No, it was done for just overall marketing and making it easy
was
for
cute.
something to grab onto.
It was
something to relate to,
visual.
something visual that you're instantly going to associate with that product.
Yes, it was easy to spot in a crowd. I don't believe for a second that they thought, we're going to put this on and 6-year-olds are going to be stealing these to smoke them and get hooked.
Do you know what?
No.
I'm fat. I'm going to come up with a lawsuit and start blaming I'm suing everybody.
Well,
that makes food.
Stand in line.
That's marketed.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Campbell's.
Can
I'll go
I
after
sue
them. Gravy? Sure.
Can I sue gravy? I love
Can I sue pigs?
Oh, no, don't.
Pork
don't
fat.
sue pigs. Oh.
Come on, pork fat.
Bacon. No.
Love the little thing I shared the other day on Facebook, Come to Bacon.
Which one was that?
Just like women, they, look great, smell great, taste great, and slowly kill men.
And you love every moment of it. And you love every moment of it. You got to put that last line in there, I'm telling you. But the bottom line of it is I'm really, really tired of agencies and governments coming out saying, well, adults can't have this, even though, people are actually quitting smoking.
Yes.
I've quit smoking. My doctor is doing handsprings I'm on this.
You are one of the success stories.
Yes.
You need to be on an infomercial.
2 of my daughters are now on e-cigarettes. I'm thrilled. Are they down to 0 nicotine? Not yet. They're working on it.
I sincerely want to. Matter of fact, that's going to be my goal for the summer is to actually go down to an e-cigarette.
That would be great. But
Save
I'll tell you
some money.
something. I think a lot of this that you're hearing about, babies are being overdosed by the e-liquid because it has nicotine in it. And this is killing babies and children and it's bad. I will bet you money that a lot of this, the whispering in the background, is coming from big tobacco.
Oh, yeah.
Big tobacco
It could
hates
be.
these things because they actually work.
Yeah, well, it's taking money out of their pocket.
That's it. People are actually quitting smoking. So now if they can vilify these and make them, you don't know what's in there. You're probably smoking 100 horrible things. Yeah, but your product has over 200 horrible things.
That's
like
true.
Nicotine and tar and cyanide and formaldehyde and yeah.
Well, a doctor actually told me once that nicotine in itself is not bad for you. It actually has some
Right.
healing qualities to it.
Nicotine is what addicts people to cigarettes. It's addictive. The tar in a cigarette and the other 200 chemicals, but primarily the tar, is what actually kills most people. That's what, when you go to clean an ashtray, you got to scrub that orange brown gunk out of the bottom. That's the tar, because that gets in you too. But they hate these things. They absolutely hate them because it's cutting into their market share. They're losing business as it is because fewer people are picking up the cigarette habit like they used to. I mean, my kids don't understand that I actually had my doctor tell me to switch to menthol cigarettes because they were better for my health.
Wow.
And he told me this while he had a pack of Lucky Strikes in his breast pocket.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And he comes from a deep smoking.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You smoke the Lucky Strikes. Ooh.
But I believed him, and I smoked menthols for the whole rest of, the next 20 years, And I did, because I believed it was better for my health.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's how people get hooked on things. That's how people get stuck, because people believe this crud that's put out there by the tobacco industry. And they're still doing it. Now they're taking aim at these. Every time something comes down the pike that actually works, they start sweating bullets. They can't afford it. They're still paying off those huge settlements that they paid with the states.
Yeah.
Oh, that hurt. That hurt. But I'll tell you, I remember when, everyone on TV smoked. You could smoke in the stores. You'll go through the grocery store, pushing a cart, smoking a
Yep.
cigarette. They'd have ashtrays scattered around.
Yep, I was shocked when I moved up to Alaska, and they were still pretty lax on their smoking laws up there. And a friend of mine that I was there with, we were going through Safeway, and sure enough, he just lit up a cigarette. I'm like, "The heck are you doing?"
Are you out of your mind?
And he goes, "There's no rules against that in here."
Wow.
I'm like,
I remember smoking in my hospital room.
"Wow."
Yeah. They'd bring you an ashtray.
I was a wee tyke when that was allowed.
Yeah, well, yeah. But I remember these things, you know?
Now you can't even smoke on the hospital campus.
No, well, not even in your car. And I call BS on that.
Yeah.
You're not
What
going to tell
are
me
they
what I
gonna
can
do?
do in
Send
my
the parking
house.
lot police out to get me?
Yeah, they're going to break my window and hose me off.
Yeah. The running cop's going to come get you.
Yeah.
Ma'am, we're going to have to ask you to extinguish your smoking.
But this really, really, really bugs me because I was watching it on the news. I was reading about some articles that were coming out, and they're saying that, oh, this stuff is, that's pretty bad. That's pretty dangerous. We've got to protect people from themselves. Thank you, Nanny State. I'm so fed up with a Nanny State I could scream.
And that's right up there with, the people that were saying all the bad stuff about pot.
Well, it is.
It is, because it's something that's out there that's not causing any problems, except for, it maybe in your mind or your pocket, but it's not everybody.
Yeah. And it's like, we've got, okay.
And they have the right to make their complaints, sure. But I have the right to complain back.
You should have. That, in my book, comes down to freedom of speech.
Yep.
But you really don't, because if you complain back, then you are fill in the blank, some sort of a horrible human being. I'm sure there's a word for it.
And it's whatever.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it.
But I got to tell you, I don't need the city government, the county government, the state government, the federal government. I don't need them watching over my shoulder. I don't need them deciding, okay, well, today we're going to let you do this over here, and you can wear this because that's approved.
Oh, God.
No. This isn't going to happen.
It's a little too close to becoming communism or something.
Ooh, the C word. You bad boy, you said that. But I'm telling you, it's getting to the point where special interest groups out there, for whatever reason, are convinced that they have the right, put it under freedom of speech. Everyone uses that blanket excuse.
Yeah.
Which I hate that, because I love the concept of freedom of speech. It needs to be protected, not abused. Okay. Protected, not abused. Simple concept.
Is there freedom of stupidity?
Sadly, yes. Have you not read a newspaper in the last month? Yeah. Sadly, there is.
Try not to.
Well, I do. I read papers. I
try
watch a
to
lot of
stay
news.
away from stupid.
Well, it's harder. It's getting harder and harder, because stupid is your lab partner this semester. And I mean, somebody in the government has decided you're going to pair up with stupid, and you're going to carry them, and you're going to pay the price for their stupidity. You can't do this because stupid over here did something stupid and hurt themselves, and so it's the same reason, like this trip we took. Same sort of thing. I asked my husband, I said, so how come in the state of Oregon you're not allowed to pump your own gas? It's been a long time since I pulled into a gas station, had somebody bounce out with the little uniform, the little hat, and check your fluids for you.
Yeah.
Check your oil.
That is astounding.
I grew up with that when I was little, but it's been a long time.
It's been a long
time.
But go to Oregon.
Yeah. So you go to Oregon and, start to put my hand on the door. My husband's like, no, just sit still. They'll come out and pump. Why? It's the law. Why?
Because Oregonians don't have enough faith in their people.
He said.
It's like going to Canada when you go to Oregon.
That's bad, but it's funny. He said that at some point, somebody got burned very, very badly pumping their own gas. And they took it one step further than anybody up to that point had done, and they sued the state. And somehow...
They won. So
the state came back and said...
The state said, we ain't going to have this problem again.
Yeah, and basically, yes. the state came back and said, fine, you want to be that way? Nobody can pump their gas. You've got to have somebody here to come out and pump everybody's gasoline, which equates to higher prices because they've got to pay somebody.
Yeah, so you got a bunch of guys down there named Bubba that now have job security.
Well, yeah. Basically, yeah. And they don't check your fluids or anything anymore. They just pump your gas. You know, what
That's
grade
it.
you want. And it's just, somebody got burnt. They sued the state. They won. So the state, basically in a fit of pick, came back and said, well, fine.
Y'all are too stupid.
Y'all too stupid to be allowed to do this yourselves. Really? Well, we
So when
live
they
in
grow up, do they
Washington.
move to Washington and California?
There you go. We live in Washington. I've never heard of anybody being severely injured. I'm sure at some point, yeah, I don't know, it probably happened. You know, California, I lived in California for a long time. It's
Yeah.
not like every other
And
week
you would
hear
expect
about
that in
somebody blown
California.
up. Yes, really, the Californians, they're kind of odd. But you'd think that you'd pick up the paper every other week and read about some poor soul having this horrible accident at a gasoline station. No, you don't hear about what you hear about more likely than anything else is some brain trust, sucking on a hose, siphoning gas and stealing it from somebody.
Yeah.
And getting themselves sick or catching on fire. That's what you hear about.
And see lots of videos of people that like to, I don't know, drive away with the nozzle in their tank.
How do people do that? I have pumped a lot of gas in my life. I wish somebody would explain to me how in the world you managed to drive off with a hose
I've been
hanging
around,
off your car.
I've been around, but I was working at a convenience store one day when it happened.
Really?
Yeah.
Did they act like they knew it was there or just drive off oblivious?
We don't know. We just noticed all of a sudden, hey.
Oh, now if they did that, would a bunch of gas come pouring out of the
As a
pump?
matter of fact, mine wasn't even. It wasn't even quite that. This guy actually had gotten the hose stuck in the hole in his truck. It couldn't get it out,
How do you do
and
that?
he was supposed to go back to work. I don't know, but then he finally just said screw it and drove off.
Oh, no. Oh.
And luckily, the shut-off valve kicks in, and yeah, gas didn't go spewing everywhere, nothing like that.
Oh, well, that was kind of, he made a choice. But, I've seen, twice in my life, I've actually seen a car going down the road with the hose stuck
Yep.
in the
we're.
Now, I like to
we're
drive
humans.
in one time and saw somebody driving off with the
speaker?
The speaker hanging in the back window behind the driver.
Really?
Apparently, they forgot about it and drove off.
Was it?
And I'm
And it was still hanging on the glass.
Yes!
And the glass didn't break.
I would have figured the glass would have shattered, but apparently the wire
Yeah, because those
snapped.
speakers are heavy and they're metal.
Yeah. I guess the wire just snapped. Maybe it wasn't working right or something. They were using a
Well,
different
and nowadays at the drive-ins, you can just leave your car running and tune into.
Well, yeah, you just
an
turn
FM
the AM.
station.
Oh, no, AM station usually.
No, they have FM now.
Is it FM? Oh, well, okay.
They've upgraded.
But that's kind of nice because now everybody can hear what's being said.
Yeah, instead of that one speaker in the driver's window.
Yeah, with the static and the
Mhm.
trying to, yeah. But I do wonder, how do people do stuff like this? Drive off with
It
the
happens.
speaker, drive off with the gas thing. I worked at a convenience store eons ago. Go out at 2 o'clock in the morning to measure the pump,
Mhm.
and every creepy person that ever lived in this county is out at 2 o'clock in the morning when you go out to measure the pumps.
2 o'clock in the morning is an amazing time anywhere you live.
It is. It's
I
amazing.
worked graveyard shifts in Alaska, in Anchorage,
There's a
at
whole-
7-Eleven.
A whole nother group of people come out.
Yes, and I got to know quite a few of them, and the oddness that was in my store at that time of night.
Odd can be good sometimes, so I'll give you that. Well, I'll tell you what, we're up against the top of the hour here at the end of the show.
Yes.
This has been such a blast today. I've really enjoyed this. We've had a lot of fun, but good points were made. Good points were made, I have to say. Don't let them abuse your rights. Don't let them. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for yourself.
Spank them!
That's the biggie. That's the biggie. Stand up for yourself and don't let them take your rights. Well, I'll tell you what, you're going to want to stay tuned for the Outlaw Radio Network
Yeah.
today because apparently
It's girls' night out.
it's girls' night. Oh my gosh. That is amazing to me.
It's a whole group of them.
Because
my lord,
Because K-Dog,
They're-
K-Dog,
they're
and
all
Sir Paul,
watching the wrestling.
the voice of the voice of reason, they decided they're going to have this big WrestleMania party.
Every year.
So the girls have come down and they're going to show you how it ought to be done. You go. I'll see you later. Y'all have a great time. It's the Raw Nerve. Bye-bye.
Well, it's the mailman watching me, and I don't feel safe anymore. Oh, what a mess! I wonder who's watching me now. The IRS. I always feel like somebody's watching me, and I have no privacy. Oh, I always feel like somebody's watching me. Tell me, is it just a dream? I always feel like somebody's watching me, and I have no privacy. Oh, I always feel like somebody's watching me. Who's playing tricks on me? I always feel like somebody's watching me. Oh, I always feel like somebody's watching me.
News in Washington, I'm Windsor Johnston. Ukraine's interim president, Alexander Turchinov, has called an emergency meeting of his security chiefs to deal with growing unrest in the eastern part of the country. Pro-Russian demonstrators took over government buildings in 3 major Ukrainian cities today. The BBC's David Stern reports from Kiev.
Mr. Turchinov canceled a planned visit to Lithuania. His press service said he was personally following